What if you recognized this world is an hallucination? What if you recognize this world is a hallucination? What if you really understood you made it up? What if you realized that those who seem to walk about in it, to sin and die, attack and murder and destroy themselves, are wholly unreal? What if you realize that those who seem to walk about in the world are wholly unreal? Would you have faith in what you see if you accepted this? And would you see it? Hallucinations disappear when they are recognized for what they are. This is the healing and the remedy. All you need to do is recognize that you did this. Once you accept this simple fact and take unto yourself the power you gave them, you are released from them. This is why you are not a victim of the world you see. Because you cannot be a victim of something that isn't real. One thing is sure, hallucinations serve a purpose. And when that purpose is no longer held, they disappear. Hallucinations serve a purpose, and when that purpose is no longer held, they disappear. So we're being asked to look underneath the surface. What is the purpose of a world of time and space, of many bodies doing many different things? This world was made to give a home to the idea of victimization. One body can attack another body. Apparently, there's a new show online called the Three Body Problem. It's some scientific issue. But we have the two body problem. We have the belief that there are two bodies. There's this body and some other body. And then we just repeat that. So it seems like there's lots and lots and lots of bodies. But there's one body that's extra special. The body that we think we are. Jesus is encouraging us to look below the surface, to see that there's a desire for this multiple body situation. because then the judgment rests outside of us. And look at what they did. Look at how they treated me. Or look at how they treated those poor innocent people. But at least I'm not like them. It's just a trick. It's just a story that's been concocted. What if you recognize this world as an hallucination? What if you really understood you made it up? What if you realize that those who seem to walk about in it, to sin and die, attack and murder and destroy themselves, are wholly unreal? This is the key to our freedom. He's pointing us to an experience beyond the possibility of victimhood, of victims at all. The very concept of attack and defense. So yes, work with the specific problems or upsets that are occurring in your life. But at some point, take it back to the real depth of this message. That nothing really happened. That you're not angry about this thing that seemed to happen to you, the situation that seems to be bothering you. The upset goes all the way down. And we want to follow the root down so that we can pluck it out of our mind. All of the stories of our lives are like the fruit of that sickly root, that sickly plant of separation. And as we practice this forgiveness, we're getting better and better at not taking a bite out of the sickly fruit. I don't want to believe that I'm a victim. But when we get down to the root, we see why. We see why. We've never, ever, in any way, been a victim. Because the whole thing was cooked up to try to cover over our fear that we believe we separated from God. It's not true. Couldn't really happen. But the belief that it did happen was so horrifying that we cooked up a whole universe of time and space. In a little tiny world in that great big universe to hide ourselves in a little tiny form that we believe we are. So again, we want to pluck the whole root out of our mind. This root of separation, this root of anger and attack. What if you really understood you made this world up? Now that these things that seem to be so troubling, seem to be so intense, are no more real than a child's imaginary play. You give a child a doll or a little toy, and all of a sudden they'll make up a whole universe, a whole story around what's happening. They can really get into it. they can experience all the things that that toy is going through, that doll is experiencing. But once we're grown up, we can see that nothing is really going on. But just to see that this is what's happening. Except for we forgot that it was just imaginary play. The veil of forgetfulness fell after we stepped into this, and we forgot this was all just make-believe. But now we're remembering. We're remembering to come back to that pure innocence of a child. There's even children's nursery rhymes that have profound messages. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. This is the gentle way we wake up. I mean, I don't know how many dozens or hundreds of times I heard that song as a child. I didn't know it contained the truth until I started studying the course, and then it like hit me, like, oh my God. These messages of wisdom are all around us. We just can't see them until we open our eyes. Can't hear them until we unplug our ears. So it's beautiful, again, that we work with whatever particular things are in our life, that we practice, finding a new perspective and a shift of mind with each circumstance, one after the next. It's like maybe we're watching a play, a lot is happening in the play. We want to get to a place where we're very neutral about what happens in the play. But even that's not the last step. At some point, we want to walk out of the theater. We want to be done with the play completely. Because even though it is just child's play, it is just an innocent play of this whole thing that seems to be playing out. When we're in it, it doesn't feel like play. It feels like anything would play. So how do we do that? Even right here, Jesus explains. He says, hallucinations serve a purpose. And when that purpose is no longer held, they disappear. Therefore, the question never is whether you want the hallucinations, but always, do you want the purpose that they serve? This world seems to hold out many purposes, each different and with different values, yet they are all the same. In the world, there is no order, only a seeming hierarchy of values. But only two purposes are possible. One is sin, the other holiness. Hallucinations serve to meet the goal of madness. Yet vision is the means by which the Holy Spirit translates your nightmares into happy dreams, your wild hallucinations that show you all the fearful outcomes of imagined sin into the calm and reassuring sights with which He would replace them. These are his substitutes for all the terrifying sights and screaming sounds the ego's purpose brought to your horrified awareness. The errors which you made can be corrected. When you have looked on what seemed terrifying and seen it change to sights of loveliness and peace, when you have looked on scenes of violence and death and watched them change to quiet views of gardens under open skies with clear, life-giving water running happily beside them and dancing brooks that never waste away, who need persuade you to accept the gift of vision? And after vision, who is there who could refuse what must come after? Think but an instant just on this. You can behold the holiness God gave his Son, and never need you think that there is something else for you to see. The way that this paragraph ends is just so beautiful. It reminds me of the choose once again section near the end of the text. He points us right at the fear, right at the intensity, and reminds us that we don't have to believe in it. We don't need to shy away from it. We don't need to fight against it. We just pull the plug on our belief that it's the truth. It's such sweetness. What does he say? You've looked on scenes of violence and death and watched them change to quiet views of gardens under open skies, with clear, life-giving water running happily beside them and dancing brooks that never waste away. This is what we all want. This is when that thought system of the ego just dissolves away completely. We have no desire for it anymore. For anyone who wants to read through this section, it's the last section of chapter 20. Sometimes people say they want clarity. This is all about that clarity. It's a clarity of vision. We get very clear on what it is we want. It's like when we just want the love of God, it's like we're running down a path and the ego thoughts might seem to kind of be on the sidelines, just trying to distract us, but we're so focused. We're just going to keep running right by that. just leaving them in the dust. We have to realize that what we want more than anything is that peace, is that joy, is that truth. Even think of like when the ego gets stuck to us, it's like very, very tight Velcro initially. Well, if we look at what Velcro is, one side has little loops. The other side has the kind of fuzzy stuff. But if you can think of it like this, every time we're healing, we're undoing, we're removing the loop on the hard side of the Velcro. We're removing more and more of the loops. What's going to happen? Well, next time the ego tries to stick to us, it's not as tight. It doesn't get as stuck. Okay, good. It's still sticking though. I don't like that. It doesn't feel good. I'm going to keep undoing these loops of fear, these loops of guilt. And eventually we only have a few of these little loops left. Ego tries to stick, but there's not much there. There's not much for it to grab onto. And then there's that glorious moment when we undo the last loop in the mind. Doesn't matter how hard the ego tries to stick to us. There's nothing left for it to stick to. So what do we want to do? We want to undo the guilt loops. We want to undo the fear loops. We want to undo the shame loops. And it's tempting early in the journey to say this doesn't work. I've undone a bunch of these loops, but the ego keeps sticking to me. I keep getting stuck in it. But what do you need to do? You need to undo more loops. Then the benefits of healing start to become more and more apparent. Sometimes we have really big clearing. Maybe we clear a whole bunch of loops all at the same time. It feels so much better because the ego can't stick to us the same way. But the next steps are still the same. I want to undo more loops. I want to keep undoing these guilt loops. We want to undo so many loops that we're like Teflon, we're like that non-stick surface. Ego just slides right off of us. That is the happy dream. That's the happy dream he's talking about here. Nightmares have turned into happy dreams. And then all we're doing at that point is just being helpful. Just letting the joy flow through us. We're letting the happiness just move effortlessly. So again, what is the day for? What is this moment for? What is any period of time for? It's for undoing these loops of guilt. And then we just feel like we come more and more into the truth, into the joy. So you could even do like a healing exercise. Sit down, maybe with a piece of paper or something to write with. And just ask within, what are these loops for me? What are the loops in my mind? And just be present with what comes forward. With each thing you see or think of, just ask for help healing it. Holy Spirit, Jesus, help me to heal this. I don't necessarily know how. I know that I want peace that's on the other side of this shift. I know I want to lay down the sword of condemnation so I can feel happy. Maybe you get a whole list of loops. Let's just work with each one. Spend some time with each one on your list and ask for healing. This is a good way to spend some time. This is a good thing to do. To clear your mind. And as always, we can spend some time here together just to talk about maybe some loops in your mind, or just to let something up, let something through. I think it's good just to keep in mind, what it is that you want. Goes back to today's lesson too. He's asking us to be like dedicated. It's in the first sentence. Today is a day of special dedication. We take a stand on but one side today. We side with truth and let illusions go. We will not vacillate between the two, but take a firm position with the one. Sometimes it's helpful to just kind of deepen, call upon something inside of ourselves, really affirm what we want. Take a stand, plant a flag in your mind. I claim my mind for the truth. It's worth it. You're worth it. Your peace of mind is worth it. It's worth going for it. It's worth wanting it. It's worth staking a claim on it. If you look at that idea, people go to some land and they say, this is for, I don't know, the King of England or something. They do these sorts of things throughout history. People have laid claim. Why have they done that? Because they believed it was valuable. They believed the land was valuable. I'm going to say this land is mine because it's valuable. Well, what's really valuable? Your mind. Your mind is very valuable. So claim it. Claim it for truth. Claim it for awakening. Claim it for peace. Claim it for what you really want. Jesus says you're far too tolerant of mind wandering, thereby condoning your miscreations. Condoning your miscreations. Ugh, who wants to do that? Claim your mind. He's not judging you here. Some people hear that statement and they feel judged. Oh no, I'm not doing this very well. No, he is just letting you know how much he loves you. He wants you to choose for yourself. He doesn't want you to waste your time and waste your focus, to waste your efforts. He wants you to love yourself the way he loves you. That's why he says this. You're worth it. You're completely worth it. The thing is, we've managed to, in our mind, wall off that love. We don't have to. We don't need to. If you could let in even a tiny fraction of the love that Jesus feels for you and the love that God is pouring into you, you would weep. You would weep tears of joy, thankfulness, and relief. And he knows you might not be ready for all that love in this moment, but he's asking you to say this is what you want. You know, sometimes when we're trying to take down a wall, sometimes the whole wall just like tumbles, but not always. Sometimes the wall comes down a brick at a time, and then another brick, and maybe two bricks or three bricks. Eventually, the whole wall is down. Look, when the Berlin Wall fell, well, a lot of it didn't fall. You know, there are people standing on top of the wall. It just wasn't an obstacle anymore. So again, it's okay if you feel to dig deep for your resolve, dig deep for your desire, dig deep for your sense of purpose. Because when you find it, it is matched. Holy Spirit grabs onto your hand, says, I'm with you. Let's do this. Let's take down that wall. So if we need a sort of rallying cry here, let's have that rallying cry. Take down that wall. I think some president said, tear down that wall. You know, let's take the wall down. And again, we do it every time we bring fear into the light, every time we bring some shame forward for healing. Anytime any old grievance gives way to joy and peacefulness.